Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my Republican 2024 preview, where we go super in depth with the overall odds, who's going to be the Republican nominee. We are focused on figuring that out today. I've got odds from a number of different betting sites that will give us a little good reflection on who the top candidates are. And of course, it is Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. We know Donald Trump will very likely, after the midterms, be announcing his run for the Republican side, and DeSantis probably sometime after as well. You can take a look at the overall odds. According to this site, Trump is the betting favorite, 50-50 right now, minus 110. You've got DeSantis plus 200. And then the next highest odds all the way down at Mike Pence plus 1100. I see no legitimate chance Mike Pence is the nominee. Right now, the way I look at it, if it's not Trump, it's going to be DeSantis. And I think if the Republicans want the best chance to retake the White House, it is with Ron DeSantis. He's less, when it comes to the independent voters, he's less overall polarizing. I still think Trump can win just based off the fact that how bad the Democrats have been with Biden having the ridiculously low approval rating. So I think if Trump was the guy, he could certainly win in 2024. But there's just a lot more the Democrats can unload on Trump as opposed to DeSantis. It's a little harder. He appeals to more independent crowd, in my opinion. You've also got Nikki Haley, who's kind of the one woman, she replaces Sarah Palin as the one Republican woman that kind of has a chance. I'm guessing we'll be seeing her on many debate stages. She's right now trending around, I've seen her as high as 3. Behind both Trump and DeSantis. But when it comes to the Republican nominee, Trump and DeSantis are totally running the show. And it creates kind of a weird situation. We've got so many MAGA people here within the Republican Party. I'd say it's almost a nightmare scenario if Trump somehow loses to DeSantis. Not saying it's an extremely high chance, but I think it's a possibility that can happen. We've seen Trump 2020 election. He doesn't like accepting defeat. We understand that. So does it create a situation where, if you are a Republican, you're going to want Donald Trump to fall in line and tell his MAGA crowd, listen, I lost, whatever, in the primary. Vote for DeSantis over whatever Democrat they put up. Right now, I'm expecting it probably to be Gavin Newsom, but that's just really early speculation. Michelle Obama, we'll see what she wants to do. It's not going to be Biden, and it's not going to be Harris from the Democrats. I can tell you that. But if Trump loses, the biggest problem for Republicans is getting Trump to fall in line. And guys, the horror scenario for the Republicans is Trump completely goes off on his own and says, screw it, vote for me, does a little third-party thing where he loses to DeSantis in the Republican primary, and then goes in as a third-party candidate, which I'm sure Democrats would absolutely love. So there's that thing. We might not even deal with this if Trump's the guy. I'm sure DeSantis is not going to run a third party. He's going to fall in line and he's going to endorse Trump if he loses to him in the primaries. The problem becomes if Trump loses, you're looking at these odds. It is a legitimate chance it happens. These are other odds that are a lot closer. So according to these odds, Donald Trump, 35% chance. DeSantis is at a 34%. And the next highest is Nikki Haley, 6% chance. And then Mike Pence and also Mike Pompeo, who it was the Secretary of State under Trump. Mitt Romney, LOL. Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is a good talker, guys. Say what you want about Ted Cruz. He's really good at talking. Tucker Carlson, that's just a meme choice. Yeah, we're going to look at some of the long shots because realistically, there's not much for me to analyze. I guess I could give a far-out prediction on who I think the actual nominee will be, and it's just basically a choice between Trump and DeSantis. Right now, I am leaning towards DeSantis. If the Republicans really want to make sure they win in 2024, not that DeSantis, it's almost like it's so hard to see DeSantis losing to any Democrat right now. just because of the state of the Democrats, the total mess with Biden, the recession talk. They're taxing people now more. They're sending more money to Ukraine. I think CBS News did a story on Ukraine, and they're basically saying it's a complete mess. We've got also China now helping Ukraine. It's a total cluster there. The Biden administration is just historically bad, and it's crazy we're seeing Biden at such a low approval rating. We're seeing Kamala at such a low approval rating. I think Trump would beat either one of those, especially Biden, in a rematch, because it's like now we see how bad Biden is. Sure, with Trump, you get a very polarizing guy, but at least our country doesn't get run into the ground. So I think if Trump rematched with Biden, he would win. And certainly if he faced Kamala, he would win. But they will not put Kamala on the debate stage. That much I can tell you. I just think with DeSantis, it's a complete blowout. Now, with Trump, they're going to attack him. It's polarizing. They've got the January 6th thing. Guys, the whole January 6th thing. January 6th was the Democrats' Reichstag fire. That's what January 6th was, I'm sure. And it's like, why wouldn't the Democrats hype up January 6th even more? The more bad and the more worse it looks for Republicans, the more they get a stranglehold on everything. It's so hilarious how all the social media sites, right when January 6th happens, they all fall in line and then ban Donald Trump all in a row. It's the same thing that happened to Alex Jones. It's like they all know what's going on, and at the exact same time they fall in line. January 6th, they wanted to make it as bad as possible. And then how about the sham committee they've got for the January 6th thing? Did you guys happen to see? Nobody called this out. They did the January 6th committee live at 8 o'clock on primetime TV. What an absolute kangaroo court that is. What is that? That is just... So you expect us to take your January 6th investigation committee seriously when you're doing it at primetime at 8 o'clock so everyone can watch it because you want it to be a big event? You want to talk about disingenuous? Oh my God, that's horrible. I can't believe nobody mentioned it. And then we've got this. So this is a weird thing. This is if Donald Trump wasn't going to run again, which he will run again. But I just thought it was interesting to show. You can see the overall odds. Ron DeSantis, with the way he's handled the pandemic, rising up in the Republican Party. It is crazy. Without Trump, he becomes the shoo-in, and the next highest is Nikki Haley plus 1,800. And there's really, how about Candace Owens making an appearance? Donald Trump Jr. There's no way Donald Trump Jr. would win that. Ted Cruz as well. And you can just see, these are the overall long shots. George P. Bush, Lindsey Graham, Rand Paul. I want to see Rand Paul on the debate stage. Where's Chris? Oh, there is Chris Christie making an appearance on there. That's great. But you can see some other long shots. That's always fun to look at. Right now, we are looking at Donald Trump versus Ron DeSantis, and I think DeSantis is slightly a better candidate. This is just my opinion. Listen, Trump, the way the Democrats look right now, I think Trump's got a really good chance to beat a lot of them, but DeSantis has just way less baggage. He's also better, in terms of being a politician, the way he talks overall, less polarizing. Independents at this point are looking for any reason not to vote Democrat, and DeSantis would give them that reason. So I think DeSantis is the Republicans' best choice, but we know Trump, he's the favorite right now. He's got the whole MAGA group, so, it is an interesting situation to follow. Tomorrow I think I'll do the Democrat side and see what's going on there. It is a lot more wide open, with the very unlikely that Biden runs again. And then, of course, Kamala's not doing anything there. So a lot more wide open. Republicans, it's one or the other. Unless some crazy scandal happens, it's going to be Trump or it's going to be DeSantis. I'm sure they're going to try and find stuff on Trump. But if you are a Democrat and it's Trump or DeSantis, I think you have to hope Trump wins the Republican nomination. As much as you hate him, I think you probably have a better chance of beating him. That's just my opinion. We will see what happens. But guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.